Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm an independent estate agent. You've probably seen my short video about things that you should look out for as triggers as to why you might want to think about changing agent. And this is a more detailed conversation about that topic. So if you're on the market at the moment and you're not sure about whether to change agent or not, the fact that you're even clicking on this video probably suggests that you should entertain it. And these are the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about price reductions, the person that you're dealing with in the branch, communication, viewing numbers, offers, and the feedback on those. What's the plan of action moving forward? Because if things haven't worked, what are we going to do to try and put that right? Talking and bad-mouthing other agents in town to try and put you off switching to them. Forcing things on you like price reductions that you don't want to do. And also, finally, the contract that you'll have signed, them using that as leverage against you, and also how you go about getting out of that contract if you do want to make the change. So a lot of things to talk about. Strap in, let's get going. First one, price reductions. Let me be really clear, if you are on the market for 6, 8, 10 weeks or anything longer than that, a price reduction is quite often the right thing to do. The opinion of your agent and yourself, respectfully, is irrelevant. Joe Public has decided they're voting with their feet. Your house doesn't represent good value to them and it hasn't sold yet. And one of the reasons it might not have sold could be price. It could be all sorts of other things as well, like presentation, access. Maybe you've got a really unusual property that is going to take a bit longer to sell. But generally speaking, price reductions and conversations around price are on the hit list. And it should be a two-way conversation between you and your agent. They should not be telling you what to do. It should be a consultation. It should be a discussion. And ultimately, you have to agree to a price reduction. I've had a client recently who's had their property reduced online without them even being told about it, which should never be happening. So have a conversation with your estate agent about price. The other thing to bear in mind, whilst price reductions are never nice to do, albeit sometimes necessary, has your estate agent's way of wording things and their positive, negative way of having that conversation, has that changed dramatically in recent times? You know, they probably told you they thought your house was worth this much, and then all of a sudden 8 weeks down the line it's worth this much. Is that conversation justified in your opinion? You might not share the same opinion as your estate agent, so don't be afraid to have your own opinion. Don't just take what your estate agent tells you as gospel. The second point is, who are you dealing with in the branch? So you probably met someone very senior when you put your property up for sale, either the branch manager, area manager, sales manager, whatever kind of job title they want to give them. Are you now dealing with someone much more junior who probably hasn't got the experience that you would quite like? Or is the person that you're dealing with, have they suddenly changed? Were you dealing with this person that was really, really great, and now all of a sudden they've moved to another branch, gone on holiday, they're busy selling someone else's house because yours isn't a priority anymore? Ask yourself that and answer it honestly. And if you're not happy with the answer, then a change, again, is something that you should entertain. Communication, it goes without saying, if they've stopped talking to you or they're talking to you less regularly or in a more negative manner, or a more, you're doing them a favour by having your property on the books, then again, you might want to think about changing agent. Viewings will slow down over time. It's natural. Your property's been on the market for a while. You're not going to get as many viewings in week 12 as you probably would do in week 1. But if you haven't had viewings for a while, why? And again, answer that honestly. And if you're not happy with the answer, again, consider a change. Today, we can't change the past. We are where we are. So what's the plan of action moving forwards? You need to get this property sold. Say we can't do anything about what's come before. Today, moving forwards, what's the plan to get my property sold? And if your estate agent doesn't have a plan to get you moving, then you need to get moving and go to another agent. Talking disrespectfully and poorly about other agents. So the estate agent will have been around the block a few more times than you probably have when it comes to selling houses. And they're going to know that you're getting itchy feet. They're going to know that you haven't had any viewings for a while and that maybe you're considering your options. So are they potentially now having conversations with you and making negative comments about other agents in town to plant that seed. Oh, don't bother leaving and going to them. If we can't sell it, no one can sell it. That they're not slagging off other agents and being unprofessional, but they're insinuating, well, stick with us, because if you go somewhere else, it's going to be the same result. That's not necessarily the case. In fact, I've done videos on that. It's definitely not the case. Change an agent will work wonders for getting you an uplift in activity. And then 2 to go, price reductions without agreeing them. So we had quite a lengthy conversation a moment ago on price reductions. But again, I said that I've had a client recently that's had a price reduction done without even being consulted, which shouldn't be happening. And if they're telling you what to do, as opposed to asking you what you would like to do, alarm bells. And last one, contracts. Now, again, I've done a video on signing lengthy contracts, and you shouldn't have done it. But if you have, and you're in that contract, are they using it as leverage to get what they want, even if it's to your detriment? So, for example, oh, well, you want a 12-week contract with us, and I know it's only been 6 weeks, but, you know, if you don't do a price reduction, well, you know, you're stuck with us for the next 6 weeks. They're making it sound like there's no alternative, when quite often there is. So don't fall for these games. If you're thinking about changing agent, and if you've got this far into the video, you're definitely thinking about changing agent, get in touch. Even if you're not in my part of the world, I'd be happy to give you some free advice. And if you are in my part of the world and you want to change agent, well, here I am. Get in touch. Good luck.